Welcome into Duval Daily, presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan DeLuga. Thanks so much for tuning in here Monday, June 2nd. Jaguars OTA number 7 in the books. And it was the third OTA that media has been allowed to attend, permitted to attend, by the NFL CBA rules, all that good stuff. Third practice that we've been to out of 7. And there's some takeaways from attendance, from the actual practice, X's and O's, plays, all that good stuff. And then also from the press conference, Liam Cohen spoke with the media. So did Josh Hines Allen. So we're going to dive into all that good stuff here today. Really appreciate y'all tuning in. If you enjoy the content here, please like and subscribe. You can also check out genjag.com/shop, pick up some new Duval gear. So OTA number 7. First things first, Travis Hunter, Jaguars, first round pick, second overall pick. The man that the Jaguars traded up for, the man that was the star of the Hunt episode 2, playing offense today. So media, we have not seen him play defense. It has happened at least twice, I believe, him playing on the defensive side of the ball. Liam Cohen said right now in these OTAs and for the foreseeable future, he'll be practicing on one side of the ball or the other during a given practice. And he said this last week, so it's old news. But if you haven't been paying attention, you're not going to see Hunter right now playing on both sides of the ball in a given practice. It'll be one or the other. Today was offense. Every time we've been out there, it's been offense. I do think that he's getting more and more comfortable in the offense. And he looked good today. So, Travis Hunter wearing the teal jersey today. Travis Etienne, speaking of another Travis, he was out there today. Last time we were out there, media, was last Tuesday following Memorial Day, and he wasn't there. Liam Cohen kind of, in my opinion, put to bed any speculation about why he wasn't there, saying that it was a flight situation. But he was out there today, Travis Etienne was, and I thought he looked good, thought he looked comfortable, was doing his thing out there, and he wasn't there last Tuesday, but he was there prior, the practice prior that we were able to attend. And again, we don't know all the attendance information about the practices that were not there. So he was out there today, which was good to see, obviously. And then after practice, Liam Cohen met with the media, and he talked very highly of Travis Etienne, kind of praised him, talked about his ability in space, really, screens, jet sweeps, things of that nature. Talking about being able to pick up everything that they've kind of put on his plate, being just doing a great job with everything so far. He did say, you can't really tell, the tough yardage type of stuff out in this setting, OTAs, no pads, no hitting, all that stuff. And so he couldn't really get into that, but he said everything that they have asked of him so far, he's gone above and beyond. He's done a great job. Also talked about his vision has been very good so far for them, which is something that Etienne's been criticized for in the past, is the vision a little bit at times. And Liam Cohen said, some of the things he's seen out there, he doesn't understand it because it's not true. And obviously, that means that either Liam Cohen is very online or somebody in his circle is very online, talking to him about how there's a lot of potential trade talk about Travis Etienne. He seemingly put that to bed a little bit here, said that he doesn't get that stuff. He doesn't understand it, and it's not true. And so he didn't specifically reference the trades, but he said some of the stuff he's seen out there. So I think they like Travis Etienne here a good bit. Obviously, he is going into the final year of his rookie deal, going into a contract year. But I think that they plan on utilizing him in this offense, and I think that that's a smart decision. If you want to know more of my thoughts about that, you can go back and check out the show last week where we talked about Travis Etienne pretty much exclusively in the running back room. Through the first 6 periods, there was basically a lot of special team stuff for the backups and a lot of individual for offensive line, defensive line, wide receivers, corners, nickels, defensive backs in general, quarterbacks, all that stuff. And that was what we were allowed to film. And then you get into the more team portion of things, and you saw some 7-on-7, some 11-on-11. Again, no pads No real hitting. Was it full speed out there today? I think you could say it's close to full speed with some of the things they did, but not everything. Um, in the team periods of practice, you did see Buster Brown get a pass breakup. You also saw him get beat a few different times. I thought overall this was a balanced day, and Liam Cohen talked about that too. But that was kind of my thought. Like, it was balanced. There was some defensive plays, there were some offensive plays. There wasn't any interceptions. There wasn't like a ton of defensive hands on the football. There weren't really a lot of drops either. It was just, I thought that, and Liam said it too, like it wasn't a day where the defense clearly won or the offense clearly won. It was balanced. He said he thought that fundamentally they were better today, that they've grown in that regard over these first 7 practices or so. And so I think he was very pleased with the practice today. And if you're not watching this right when it comes out, right now it's 11:28 a.m. So practices had been starting in OTAs. The first 2 practices we attended had started at 11:50. So they moved it up earlier in the morning, started at 8:50 today, which I think was probably something that everyone was happy about. A little cooler out there, really a lot cooler. It's also just been nicer in general weather the last 3 or so days, temperature-wise here in North Florida. So got the practice done early. I was all for that. I think everybody was all for that. But Lawrence, I think, overall had a pretty good day. Britton Strange has been heavily involved in the passing game. Consistently see that every practice we've been to. De'Ami Brown, another one, heavily involved in the passing game. So he's got to have the most catches, I feel like. At least what we've seen, right? We've only seen 3 practices. There's been 7 practices. We don't see everything. So you don't want to have any of these like crazy takeaways. De'Ami Brown's going to lead the Jaguars in targets, or he's going to be second in targets, or Britton Strange is going to be an unbelievable producer at tight end. You don't want to get into any of that. Now, I will say Eric Armstead last week tweeted that Britton Strange is going to be a top 5 tight end. So that's great. I mean, Eric Armstead, showing confidence in his guy, that he's really passionate about it. You like to see that, I think. And I do think Britton Strange has the ability to be a very good tight end in this league. I don't think you need to even talk about top 5 right now, but I think he can have a really nice role in this offense. I think De'Ami Brown can have a really nice role in this offense. You saw Travis Hunter make a bunch of plays today. You saw him make some plays in the red zone. You saw Brian Thomas Jr. really doing a good job. Both of those guys were heavily involved. I thought the big 3 receivers had days like you would expect of them today. Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter, De'Ami Brown. And then, of course, Britton Strange at tight end is your number 1 tight end. And I thought he was very productive today, as he has been every time we've been out there. So good to see from those guys. It was good to see Buster Brown get that pass breakup, though. Good for him. And he had some tight coverage. He had some reps where, he was in a pretty good position, but maybe the receiver made a little bit better play. And sometimes that's going to happen, especially when you're going against guys like Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter. De'Ami Brown did have a really nice one-handed grab. He had to elevate, go up and get it one-handed. That was impressive. And Liam Cohen said in the press conference afterwards, he was talking about a different De'Ami Brown one-handed grab. Or he thought, actually, so he was talking about how he's an offensive guy. He's the offensive head coach. He's former offensive coordinator. He's going to be the play caller here on offense. Kind of the balance between, he's always kind of keyed in on the offense when he's watching things, but then Jordan Lewis was able to steal the ball away from De'Ami Brown and came away with it, and then he immediately has to like innately switch to cheering on his defensive guy. So that's a little bit of a challenge and something he's working through, but that's pretty fun. But yeah, De'Ami Brown, great catch today. And again, just continues to impress with his route running, how smooth he is, the hands. I thought the hands for your big guys today were really perfect. Travis, Brian Thomas Jr., De'Ami, Britton Strange. And then one drop I did see, and full disclosure, the way today was set up, it wasn't the easiest to see everything that was going on in the 7-on-7 and 11-on-11 consistently. But I did see Josh Cephas had a drop on a pass that really should have been caught from Nick Mullins. It was a really good throw. I think Nick Mullins has had a pretty good outing so far from what we've seen as well. But Josh Cephas is a guy, undrafted free agent last year by the previous regime. He's someone who really probably can't afford to have very many drops throughout the offseason and then getting into training camp. He's somebody who's going to be fighting for a roster spot. Special teams is going to be a big part of that, but also being reliable is going to be a big part of that. And I don't think having one drop in an OTA is going to, end up him not making the team. But he was very frustrated after it, you could tell. And it's something like you can't have those types of things stack. You got to bounce back from it. So that'll be something to watch from Josh Cephas, who I like. I like a lot of the young guys competing for receiver, though. Got to remind you all about Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is one of the best places to make picks during playoff basketball. Underdog is one of the leading sports apps, and you can play now in your state. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Playing Underdog is a layup. Just download the app and then pick higher or lower on players' stats like points, assists, and more. Once your picks feel good, you can play with as little as $1. If you get everything right, you could win up to 1,000 times your money. This week on Underdog, I'm looking at playoff basketball, selecting SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, for higher than 33.5 points. Download the Underdog app and sign up with promo code Duval Daily to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. That's promo code Duval Daily. Must be 18 plus, 90 plus Alabama and Nebraska, 90 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.ncbgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Shout out to Underdog Fantasy. No Anton Harrison today. Liam Cohen said it was a day off for him because he wasn't feeling well. So that's, something to monitor. Hopefully he's able to, kick whatever is ailing him, not feeling well, and get back out there. We will be back out there later this week, so we'll get a chance to see if he's back yet from not feeling well. So we'll keep our eyes on that. Josh Hines Allen, as I mentioned, spoke with the media after practice, talked about weight, and that's been a big subject so far throughout OTAs, just the weight of the defenders last year. And he confirmed he did get up to 285 last year, which is, at least 20 pounds heavier than what you would normally expect from him. 15 to 20 pounds heavier. He might, my best guess is generally he plays around 265, give or take. So that was a lot of weight he added. And he said it didn't feel comfortable. His body wasn't really cooperating with it as well. And he was actually getting more nicked up and stuff than he normally does. And so he said he's happy to be, having his goal is no longer about weight. Like last offseason, because of the way the coaching staff was handling things, all these guys were worried about being up to weight, being where they needed to be weight-wise. And that's no longer a focus. It's like, be wherever you're at naturally, wherever feels best, what you've done before that has worked best for you. And that's what we want you to do here. So the coaching staff definitely, to me, is moving in the right direction in that regard. But Josh Hines Allen feeling much more comfortable, not worrying about weight. He said that was big for him. He also was asked about the Guardian cap he wore once last year. So that was another thing he said. It might be mental, but he's probably not going to wear it again just because he said it wasn't actually heavy, but like it just kind of like it was something he was thinking about, right? And so last year he was thinking about his weight. He was thinking about the Guardian cap when he had that one specific situation. And he's trying to eliminate things that he doesn't need to be thinking about because he wants to be thinking about whooping the guy in front of him. And his goals this year are break the sack record, defensive player of the year, things of that nature. And Josh Hines Allen is a guy who has had a 17 sack season. Like Everything is in front of him right now. And if he's playing at a weight or at a size, physical conditioning that he feels most comfortable with, he's going to have his best opportunity to potentially have a massive 2025 season. I think he's in a good position for that. I think Trayvon Walker's in a good position for that. I think Eric Armstead is a good position for that. We'll talk about Eric Armstead more because he joined John Osher on the Ozone podcast. We're going to talk about some of the things that he talked about there later on. But Josh Hines Allen talked about the weight and he's feeling more comfortable. And he talked about the coaching a lot. He feels like with Anthony Campanile and this coaching staff, it's clear that they have a lot of love and respect for the game, and they're smart, and they have a lot of love and respect for the players, that what he's asking them to do, and reverence. So Josh Hines Allen said this is a coaching staff he's happy and willing to, lay his body on the line for out there day in and day out. And so I think that's huge when Josh Hines Allen is saying that, and when he's there at OTAs, because he's practiced in Arizona the last couple years during voluntary OTAs, and they are voluntary, right? You don't have to be out there. But for Josh to be out there, I think says a lot about the direction of this football team, about the buy-in that he has for the coaching staff. And he's talked about the connection with Liam Cohen from Kentucky. And I think that this group is really feeling it right now in terms of defensively feeling really good about their coaching and how these coaches are going to kind of try to utilize them and coach them up throughout the remainder of the 2025 season and beyond. Liam Cohen was asked about red zone and talked about that a little bit offensively, how, it's been a big topic around Jacksonville. It's been an area where the team has struggled at times. And he said Trevor Lawrence is doing a really good job in the red zone right now. He's being decisive. He's making plays. He's putting good balls out there. And then he also mentioned, in season, regular season, postseason, good teams score in the red zone running the football. He said you're not really as worried about that right now because it's OTAs. There's no real physicality. There's no tackling and big hitting and anything like that. So right now the focus is more on the passing aspect of red zone work, and he's really pleased with how Trevor Lawrence is doing with that. Final thing I wanted to touch on, unfortunately, as I got back to get ready to record this, I saw that Saquon Barkley is on the cover of Madden 26, which is great for Saquon. Hopefully the Madden curse isn't a thing. I don't know. I don't pay attention to all that stuff as much anymore. But the highlight, the play on the cover is the hurdle from last year, unfortunately. So I will say EA and Madden, everyone who watches the NFL knows that was against the Jaguars and that was Jarian Jones that he hurdled over. But Madden doesn't have like the Jaguars branding on the helmet or like, the white thing at the top of the helmet that says Jacks or Jags or whatever it says. That's not there. So like Madden isn't putting Jarian Jones there, even though like he is there. Like it's unfortunate for Jarian. And I know that he's probably going to get some crap about that, but he's a really good football player, good young guy coming in, and I think that he's going to have a nice career here in Jacksonville and in the NFL. But yeah, just a little thing that kind of like, damn, got to relive this again if you're Jarian Jones, and that's going to get brought back up, I'm sure. But that's going to do it here. OTA number 7 in the books. Balanced practice, good plays on both sides. I think that you're moving in the right direction here, and that there's a lot of confidence from the players and the coaches and vice versa. And Liam Cohen also kind of put to bed any of that talk about Travis Etienne maybe not being wanted here in Jacksonville. So, yeah, really appreciate y'all tuning in. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. Y'all have a good one.